So Russell Simmons is presently applauding back at his ex Kimora Lee's new cases, and he is clarifying that he won't be threatened by her cases. And I'm frightened of no one in the world. I'm serious. I'm not unnerving like that. Kimora Lee, as of late, took to virtual entertainment to blame Russell for being savage to her and their little girls. And promptly it got individuals talking and pointing fingers at Russell. Well, he is persevering and uncovering Kimora for making up lies about him. Visit all realities. Or has Kimora been cried in fake tears? This time, speculatively, you're at absolute bottom. You've raised a ruckus around town. I don't realize your handle. We got straws. I couldn't say whether this is a cash snatch. I don't actually have the foggiest idea what this is, so it resembles. There has been an insane measure of strain between Russell Simmons and his ex Kimora Lee Simmons, and the show has been happening briefly now. Well, the tension at last became a lot for all interested parties, and it in the end gushed out over onto web-based 2 or 3 days prior. And when it spilled, it sent the web into a twist. Everything began when Kimora and Russell's more established girl Ming decided to respect her mom on Father's Day. She posted an image of her and Kimora saying cheerful, a tad upsetting. There have been a few reports in the past several months that Russell hasn't been an incredible father to his children. Yet Russell obviously could have done without that. Was wishing Kimora a blissful Dad's Day rather than him, so he took to his Instagram stories to toss some huge shade at Kimora, saying, "Quit telling dads they ought to have battled more diligently to see their kids," and begin asking moms for what valid reason he needed to battle everything. So he was suggesting that Kimora was the person who turned his children against him and killed the relationship that he had with them. Well, Kimora was not going to let this story fly about her, and she went live on Instagram to put any misinformation to rest. She got going by denying Russell's charges that she conditioned their little girls and turned them against him for somebody to suggest that my children are programmed in light of the fact that they regarded the work or the obligation that their mother satisfies consistently 365 days per year 24/7 is insane. Nobody's programmed. She additionally talked on certain bits of gossip about how Russell had prepped her. Now, for those of you who don't realize, she was in secondary school and was around 16 years of age when she began dating Russell, who has been 34 to 35 at the time. Individuals except that Russell prepared her since they got hitched when she was 23 and he was 41. While she didn't fully affirm the reports, she somewhat indicated that they were valid. Like, "I've known you, and everyone knows." Again, that is reported. You can see, I accept I was perhaps a sophomore. I realize it was before junior prom and senior prom, since I went to both of those proms alone with my companions when I was dating them, so it was certainly well before junior and senior prom. I think it was around sophomore year. She then, at that point, uncovered that she and Russell had an extraordinary relationship after they separated, and they had the ideal co-nurturing relationship. They never hauled one another, and they truly had love for one another. Yet that began to change when Russell was blamed by around 20 people for that platitude. Then he escaped the U.S. and moved to Bali, so he was unable to be removed to the U.S. to have to deal with the sub penalties. He sued Kimora and her better half Tim Leisner for purportedly taking cash from him. He and Kimura had a ton of agreements together, and he blamed her for subtly selling a portion of his stock so she could pay bail and legitimate charges. For Tim is a venture financier, and he was up to speed in a debasement ring and was blamed for a ton of things, including defilement and tax evasion. He was an unlawful wreck, and Russell felt like Kimura took from him to pay her lawful charges. Now Kimura has consistently denied it since she uncovered her relationship with Russell soured after the claim, and it never recuperated from that. Yet, on the off chance that you focus on when this claim was sent off, it's presumably similar to or a long time back, you'll see that that is the point at which these assaults began coming from my ex. You'll see that that is when a ton of a flood of poo began coming once again here to us. She additionally uncovered that he didn't have an extraordinary relationship with their little girls, despite the fact that he jumped at the chance to profess to via virtual entertainment that they were on extraordinary conditions. You'll see on their page that they post this multitude of pictures, like we're together, similar to we're companions. They've even posted pictures, and afterward said, like, I just got off the telephone with my children. They sent me this incredible picture. No part of that is valid. I like receipts. So obviously, I have instant messages. I have messages from every one of my children. You realize you can take a brief trip. And see, she then guaranteed that he had gone completely miscreant on their girls, since he had quit accommodating them monetarily. She additionally uncovered that she had been the one without any assistance accommodating their little girls, yet she wouldn't fret since she had her own cash and could accommodate her children alone. And I have records and proof of this, where he's informed the children, recorded as a hard copy. We have it, instant messages. I'm penniless. I conclude that I might you at any point. No, go get it from your mother. Now in the meantime, I have been monetarily conveying this individual, presumably for the last no less than 10 years myself. And my ex, she even guaranteed that she had been monetarily accommodating Russell eventually. Yet I've dealt with this individual as much as of numerous, a huge number of dollars, to assist with their bills. They're above their organizations, that they destroy their fruitless, offers the entirety of their stuff. And she didn't stop there, since she had significantly more to express glance at only a portion of the realities. This individual was absent at graduation again. There was not one graduation, there were a few graduation occasions, both for NYU and Harvard. You can look these things into, there's a timetable there. She didn't guarantee that Russell was estranging them as a cash snatch. Don't go after my family, which should be your family. Also don't do that, since you know you're at absolute bottom. I don't know, speculatively, you're at absolute bottom. You've stirred things up around town. I couldn't say whether Grassley at straws. I couldn't say whether this is a cash. Yet I don't actually have any idea what this is. Their most youthful little girl, Aoki, joined the live meeting. And this is the thing she said. Doki says I have telephone tapes of him undermining me. Now you all realize the reason why might Miss Harvard need to do that. Miss Harvard, you don't need to do that. I love you, child. Mom has your back constantly. And when she said she had receipts, she was not lying, since she posted a video of Russell hollering at her on FaceTime, and Aoki was troubled to the point that she was crying. No doubt it seemed as though there was a ton of show happening in the background, since when Aoki went live on Instagram to share her style of the story, it was not pretty. I'm trying to say he'll look at me without flinching and be like, well, perhaps when you choose to compromising me. She additionally supported up the thing Kimora said about Russell being an incredible co-parent. Will Aoki likewise asserted that he was an extraordinary father to her before he unexpectedly changed around on her. She concluded that, on the off chance that we disagree, it's gracious, you're correct, it resembles your mom. I disdain you, generally a similar goodness. He's simply an alternate individual. He has looked at me without flinching. And I've been similar to I want assistant. She likewise had this to say that he took care of, so we don't call him, or then again assuming that we say hello. I really want some space, since all you do is let me know how horrendous I am, and the way that I have my mother's dreadful rest profundity hereditary qualities. So hello in the event that I'm in school. When I'm in school, he wasn't compensating school, by the way, fairly. If you all think that this is terrible, well, it certainly deteriorates in light of the fact that she then, at that point, uncovered that he had abruptly removed her check card when she was in Greece on a school outing. And when she called him to see what was happening all around, how about we say the discussion turned out poorly. I'm in an unfamiliar nation, and my check card won't work. I couldn't actually add cash to it. Might you at any point help me? And he was very much definitely no, I definitely expect that you don't kick the bucket in the city of Thessaloniki. And I resembled, no, I'm truly abandoned over here. I really want assistance. And he's no doubt you all, it's extremely screwed up. Yet it even deteriorates in light of the fact that Aoki didn't uncover that Russell had taken steps to utilize his industry association with Kill Loki's fantasies about being a model. And I truly feel like my vocation is finished. And it's fine, and you compromised me with that as well. So she proceeded to share some screen captures of messages among her and Russell. And how about we say that they were not pleasant? He said, I don't for even a moment show up on your virtual entertainment. And your mom has taken my cash and the adoration for my children that she guaranteed, and Oki answered she didn't take it, you lost it with your activities. She then, at that point, said I've had sufficient. I realize I truly may lose positions or anything that I don't actually realize. I was dependably a daddy's young lady. You can see that in any image. He's been dreadful to me for quite a long time. And that is only reality. She additionally posted this other screen capture where she made sense of why she needed to remove him, saying, Father, I quit conversing with you since you were giving me fits of anxiety to the point I was put on crisis prescription. Each time we talked, you were putting such a lot of outrage and fury on me. In each call, it arrived at the point I was unable to hear your voice. Without having a mental episode, all this was so miserable and untidy, and individuals have remarks saying come ethically, should be truly pissed to be out in Russell Simmons, in light of the fact that she's never been the chaotic kind. And I feel terrible for Kimora and the young ladies, yet they were shielding a paper, or never thought often about his casualties. Now that he's being a beast to them, they ought to apologize for pursuing his casualties. Well, Russell, certainly 2 or 3 comments about this show on the grounds that as per insiders, he demands that Kimura is deceiving people in general about her story to get the children far from him. He supposedly guarantees that